And the fact you wore Nike's pregame was that signifying?
I'm free agent. I'm out here. It's new beginnings. I was, blessed to have an unbelievable experience to take a chance on something that meant a lot to me over the last 13 years, and extremely proud of what I.
Under Armour just made the biggest fumble in sneaker history by letting Steph go. And no, this is not me trying to clickbait you. This is actually the worst business decision a major sportswear company has made since, oh yeah, when Nike did the same thing to a 25-year-old Stephen Curry who was just entering his prime. They let him walk out the door because they couldn't be bothered to change the name on a PowerPoint slide. And the cruel irony, Under Armour just repeated the same exact mistake. But here's the God's honest truth. Nike could afford to bungle Curry. Nike had Jordan, Nike had Kobe, Nike had LeBron. For them, missing on Steph was embarrassing, but still survivable. But Under Armour? Under Armour was built off Steph. He is their Jordan. He is their culture. He's the reason that company ever touched greatness. And somehow, they just handed the keys right back to Nike for nothing. Let's be brutally honest. Under Armour was never a sneaker powerhouse. They were a gym shirt brand. They were cold weather compression gear. They were football guys lifting weights in winter. In short, nobody knew who the hell they were, and they were a minnow in a sneaker industry full of sharks. They were far from the global youth culture movement that they are today. Stephen Curry changed that overnight. 2013, he leaves Nike after being disrespected, takes a risk, bets on himself and Under Armour, and in turn, they bet their entire future on him. And it worked. Man, did it work. From 2014 to 2017, Under Armour wasn't just competing, they were actually threatening the big three. They passed Adidas in the US. Think about that. They passed Adidas? Dude, that's pretty huge. Their stock went nuts. Kids were wearing Curry shoes like they were the second coming of Jordans. Because they were. Steph gave UA what no marketing team, no CEO, no rebrand could ever manufacture. Cultural relevance. He made UA cool. He made them global. He made them matter. If you remove Steph from UA's history, they never sniffed the top tier of the industry. In fact, we don't know who the fuck they are. He was their lightning in a bottle. And that's what makes what happens next unforgivable. Fast forward to today, November 2025. Out of nowhere, Under Armour and Steph Curry announced the end of their 13-year partnership. This is following literally a year ago news coming out that Steph and Under Armour had a $1 billion lifetime deal similar to what LeBron has with Nike and what Jordan first started. And what is the reason that Under Armour provides? Sanitized corporate PR bullshit. Restructuring, refocusing on our core brand, financial discipline, refining operations. Translation? We're broke. We have no idea what the hell we're doing, and we think cutting our best performer will magically save us. I'll make it even shorter. They're literally letting go of the guy who made their company relevant for money. Not realizing that they wouldn't have any money if it wasn't for Stephen Curry in the first place. It's like, bro, you do not need to go to business school to know the obvious. At this point, Steph is your brand. Whatever he wants, give it to him. Simple. 4 years at Harvard doesn't need to teach you that. But here's what makes it even worse. UA isn't even failing because of Curry. UA is failing because the company failed to evolve and grow around him. They had one elite star, one cultural anchor, one franchise player. And instead of building around the guy, they built a sub-brand, milked it, and then tossed him aside as if he was part of the problem. Let me explain this in NBA terms, if this is already not hitting you in the head. This is the equivalent of the Warriors trading Steph after the 4th championship to focus on draft development and rebuilding because he's too expensive. It's lunacy. It's legitimate incompetence. It's a front office lighting the franchise on fire to save a spreadsheet. Can you actually believe they went out and said that cutting Curry brand will not affect our bottom line? Legitimately, they're saying, you brought us here, now we no longer need you. Wow. Nice one, man. This is the part that blows my mind even further. Nike lost Steph and kept winning because they're Nike. But guess what? Even till this day, people talk shit and deride Nike for that big ass fumble. But guess what? Nike still has Jordan brand, LeBron, Kobe legacy, Durant, Giannis, Sabrina, Wemby. They have 50 years of global dominance in the sneaker industry and billions in brand equity. Nike could afford to screw up once or twice. It embarrassed them, but it's not gonna break them. Under Armour, on the other hand, UA only had one lottery ticket. There's no other Under Armour Jordan, Under Armour LeBron. There's no pipeline of generational stars. Curry was the sun, moon, and the stars. When Nike lost Steph, they're able to brush it off and keep moving. When UA loses Steph, that's it. That's the whole company. You don't restructure after cutting your meal ticket and only superstar. You collapse. So let's go over the UA argument in full, and I'm about to destroy it in 20 seconds. So they claim that the Curry brand sales were modest, the sub-brand was complicated, and they need to focus on core products. Here's the reality. Every signature athlete brand has overhead. Every athlete royalty deal takes margin away from the company. Every brand uses their stars to pull the rest of the company forward. Without Curry brand, there is no pull. There's no attention, no culture, no reason for kids to care. Cutting Curry brand to save money is like the Warriors trading Steph to save cap space. I have to say it again. Yes, you save money, maybe, but you for sure lose the entire identity of what makes the team valuable. That's the part that Under Armour doesn't understand. You don't measure a star by stupid margins. You measure a star by gravity. Nike knows that. Jordan knows that. Adidas knows that. UA clearly doesn't. And that's why I truly believe this move isn't just bad. It's fatal. Let this sink in. Under Armour just spent 13 years trying to prove they could compete with Nike, and somehow, because of Steph's gravitas, they actually flew close to the sun. They hit the jackpot with this guy. They built a global identity with him, and they signed the NBA's most loyal superstar when he was at his lowest. All they had to do was drive in a straight line to the finish line. And of course, as humans tend to do, they self-sabotage. They ruin the exact thing that made them great in the first place. They're giving him back. They've opened the door for Nike to swoop in and say, hey Steph, remember the PowerPoint slide? We're sorry. We got rid of stupid Nico. Come home. Do you know how insane that is? Nike didn't earn Steph back. Under Armour just gifted him back. And now UA doesn't just lose Curry. They lose the entire next generation of hoop kids because every kid grows up dreaming of Nike again. UA just erased 13 years of progress voluntarily with their stupidity and arrogance. So yeah, we can talk about restructuring, we can talk about discipline, we can talk about refocusing. But here's the truth. Under Armour just wrote their own death warrant. Mark my words today, the moment you watch this video, I am telling you, this company will not exist in the next 10 years. I'm telling you. This is the biggest example of mismanagement that has happened maybe ever. You do not cut the player who built your company just because you suck at managing your own business. You do not let the one athlete who made you relevant walk out the door over margins. And you don't hand your only advantage back to your biggest rival who hardly needs a favor from you. This isn't just a fumble. This is the dumbest business decision in sneaker history. Steph will thrive. He's still at the peak of his powers. Curry brand's gonna grow. Nike will always be fine. And guess what? They're probably gonna ride the coattails of the last prime years of Curry. Of course they will. But Under Armour, I'm telling you again, man, I genuinely believe this move will go down as a decision that ended the company. Because you can survive bad shoes, you can survive bad leadership, but you can't survive losing the one thing holding your entire identity together. And that was Steph and Curry.